Hi, I'm Andy, archivist at the Vermont Folklife Center, here again with Ailey Baker.
Hi.
And Brent Bjorkman.
Hello.
And in this short video for the Irene Storytelling Project instructional video series, we're going to talk about setting levels on the recorder. In the previous video, we went up setting up the microphone, and the microphone is set up in a way that we consider is optimal for the environment. First thing we do, turn on the recorder. That home I/O button is what turns it on. You press and wait, then you'll see the screen come up. After the screen comes up, the next thing you're going to see is this message. Phantom on, are you sure? Enter yes. As you may recall from our previous video about the mic, this microphone, the CAD C195, is a condenser microphone, which means it requires phantom power to work. So the answer to that question is yes, and we say yes by pressing the Enter Mark button. Every time you turn on the recorder to do a recording and the phantom power is on, it's going to ask you that question. That's just something to know. The next thing we do to check the levels is engage record pause mode. So you'll see the record button here, and there's this little sort of collar around it. We press record once, and that flashes red. That means we're in record pause mode. And what that means practically is all the functions that go into recording, except actually recording, are working. So we can tell how the recording will sound and how loud or soft it's going to be. So the next thing I do is put on my headphones. And you'll notice I'm talking right now, and you'll see that there's a black line moving on the screen here. That's the VU meter. This is what tells you how loud the recording is going to be once you initiate it. And the trick here is that you don't want it to be too soft, nor do you want it to be too loud. And we're going to give you some examples of that, talking to Brent, who's very graciously agreed to sit here and answer some questions. So what we tend to do when we start is say, to set the level, so Brent, tell me what you had for breakfast.
Well, Andy, this morning I had a couple of eggs and a piece of toast, a glass of orange juice as well. And that's about it.
Okay, so you notice that while Brent was talking, this line was moving, and it was actually sliding out to about where that little black triangle is, and I'm not sure if you'll be able to see that with the camera. That's an optimal level. This is actually pretty good recording level. It's not too loud and not too soft. So the next thing to bring up here is, what do we mean by too loud? When you're recording, the input can be set to be so sensitive that the incoming sound actually distorts and sounds kind of blown out, and you can't really do much with it once that happens. And you'll know when that's happening. It's called clipping, when you see this peak light go on. So now we're going to increase the level to show what happens and what it looks like when something is peaking or clipping. So I'm going to press the volume control, or the input control, which is on the side there. And I'm going to increase that dramatically, the sensitivity of the mic input. And then I'm going to ask Brent the same question I asked him before. So Brent, what did you have for breakfast today?
Well, Andy, I had for breakfast a couple of eggs, a piece of toast this morning, a glass of orange juice, and that's about it this morning.
Whoa, boy. So you'll notice that while I'm talking too, but while Brent was talking, this peak light indicator came on, and that black line went all the way to the edge and basically stopped moving. The resulting recording is going to be very distorted sounding, so that's really not what you want to do. On the other side is I'm going to lower this once again using the input control dramatically to show you what something that's too quiet will look like. So Brent, what'd you have for breakfast this morning?
Andy, this morning I had a couple of eggs and made a piece of toast and a glass of orange juice, and that's really about it today.
So you see how in that case the little line was struggling to get to that point of that little triangle. So that recording is going to be too quiet. You can make it louder later, but when you make it louder, you're going to add a lot of noise to it. So optimally, once more, and we'll try to set the levels while Brent is talking and answering that same question for the fourth time. So Brent, what'd you have for breakfast this morning?
This morning I had a bowl of granola with a little bit of yogurt on top, some fresh fruit, and a piece of toast.
Okay, so now we've got a pretty good level. And the next step, once you've got your level set, is to press the record button one more time, and you'll see that it turns to a solid red ring, and that means you're recording, and get going. So, we're on our way.